Welcome to the Blair Family Center for the Arts. At this time, please silence all electronic devices and cell phones. Please refrain from texting and talking during a conversation, as it is a distraction to audience members around you. And now, the Bullis Theater presents Medea.
I wish the long ship Argo had never passed that perilous channel between the Symplegades. I wish the pines that made her mast and oars still waved in the wind on Mount Pelion, and the gray fish hawk still nested in them. The great adventurers had never voyaged into the Asian sunrise or the shores of morning, for then my mistress Medea would never have seen Jason, nor loved and saved him, nor cut herself off from her home to come with him into the country of the smiling, chattering Greeks and roofs of Corinth, over which I see evil hang like a cloud. For she is not meek, but fierce, and the daughter of a king. Yet at first all went well. The folk of Corinth were kind to her. They were proud of her beauty, and Jason loved her. Happy is the house where the man and woman love and are faithful. Now all is changed. All is black hatred, for Jason has turned from her. He calls the old bond a barbarian mating, not a Greek marriage. He has cast her off and wedded the yellow-haired child of Creon, the ruler here. He wants worldly advantage, fine friends, and a high place in Corinth. For these he is willing to cast Medea out like a harlot and betray the children she has borne him. He is not wise, I think. But Medea lies in the house, broken in pain and rage. She will neither eat nor drink except her own tears. She turns her face towards the earth, remembering her father's house and her native land, for which she abandoned for the love of this man, who now despises her. And if I try to speak comfort to her, she only looks at me, great eyes like stones. She is like a stone on the shore or a wave of the sea. And I think she hates even her children. She is learning what it is to be a foreigner, cast out, alone, despised. She will never learn to be humble. She will never learn to drink insult like harmless water. Oh, I am in terror of her, whether she'll thread a knife through her own heart, or hunt the bridegroom and his new bride, or what more dreadful evil stalks in the forest of her dark mind. I know that Jason would have been wiser to tempt a lioness, or naked-handed steal the whelps of a tiger. Here comes the happy children. Little they know of their mother's grief.
Old servant of my lady, why do you stand out here, keeping watch in solitude with those grim eyes? Is it some trouble of your own that you're lamenting? I should think Medea would need your care.
It is all one to Medea whether I'm there or here. Yes, it is mine, my trouble. My lady's grief is my grief, and it has hurt me so that I had to come out and speak it to the earth and sky.
Is she still in that deep despair?
You are lucky, old watchdog of Jason's boys. I envy you. This evil is not declining. It is just at dawn, and I dread the lion-eyed glare of its noon.
Is she so wrought? Yet neither you nor Medea know the latest and the worst.
What? What?
Oh, I shouldn't have spoken.
Tell me the truth, old man. You and I are two servants. We can trust each other. We can keep secrets.
I heard them saying, when we were walking beside the holy fountain Pyrene, where the old men sit on the stone benches, they were saying that Creon, the lord of this land, intends to drive out Medea and her children out of Corinth, out of their house, and into the wild world, homeless and helpless.
I don't believe it. Jason may hate the mother, but he would hardly let his sons be cast out.
Well, Jason has made a new alliance. He is not a friend of this house anymore.
If this were true, Listen, I hear her voice.
Death! Death for myself, my enemies, my children. Destruction!
Take the children away. Keep them away from her quickly.
That's the word. Grind, crush, burn, destruction!
This is my terror. To hear her always harking back to the children, like a fierce hound at fault. Oh, unhappy one, they are not to blame.
If any gods can hear me, let me die. Oh, rotten death is the only water to wash this dirt.
Oh, it's a bad thing to be born of a high race and brought up willful and powerful in a great house unruled and ruling many. For then, if misfortune comes, it is unendurable. It drives you mad. I say that poor people are happier. The little commoners, the humble people, the poor in spirit, they can lie low under the wind and live, while the tall oaks and cloud-raking mountain pines go mad in the storm, writhe, groan, crash. This is the wild and terrible justice of God. It brings on great persons the great disasters. What do you want?
I hear her crying again. It is dreadful.
Her lamentation. She is beautiful and deep in grief. We couldn't help but coming.
We are friends of this house, and its trouble hurts us.
You are right, friends. It is not a home. It is broken, a house of grief and of weeping.
Hear me, God. Let me die. What I need. All dead. All dead. All dead. Under the great cold stones. For a year. And 1,000. And another 1,000. Cold as stones. But noble again. Proud, straight, silent, crimson cloaked, in the blood of our wounds.
O shining sky, divine earth, hearken not the song that this woman sings. It is not her mind's music. Her mind is not here. She does not know what she prays for. Pain and wrath are the singers.
Unhappy one, never pray for death. Never pray for death. He is here all too soon. He strikes from the clear sky like a hawk, or hides behind green leaves, or waits behind the corner of the wall. Oh, never pray for death. Never pray for death, because that prayer will be answered.
I know poisons. I know the bright teeth of steel. I know fire. But I will not be mocked by my enemies. I will not endure pity. Pity and contempt are sister and brother, twin-born. I will not die tamely, and I will not allow blubbered-eyed pity nor contempt either to snivel over the stones of my tomb. I am not a Greek woman.
No, a barbarian woman from savage Colchis at the bitter end of the Black Sea. Does she boast of this?
She doesn't know what she's saying.
Death magic. Death. The sharp sword. The hemp rope. Death magic. Death!
I hate Jason who made this sorrow.
Old and honored servants of a noble house, do you think it is wise to leave your lady alone in that terrible acropolis of deadly thoughts? We Greeks believe that solitude is very dangerous. Great passions go into monsters in the dark of the mind. But if you share them with loving friends, they remain human. They can be endured. I think you ought to persuade Medea to come from that dark dwelling and speak to us before her heart breaks or she does harm to herself. We have learned to love her. We would gladly tell her so. It might comfort her spirits.
Do you think so? She wouldn't listen. She is coming. Speak carefully. Make your words a soft music. Oh, my dear poor child.
They say she's dangerous. Look at her eyes.
She is a witch, but she is not evil. She can turn old men young again. She did it for Jason's father.
The people of her country are all witches. They know magic. They are savages, but they have a wild wisdom.
I will look into the light of the sun this last time. I wish from the blue sky the white wolf of lightning would leap and burst my skull and brain like a burning babe that clings to these breasts. Someone's here. I did not know that I had visitors. Women of Corinth, if anything was spoken too loudly here, consider that I believed I thought I was alone, that I've had some provocation. But you've come, I suppose, with love and sympathy to peer at my sorrow. I understand well enough that nothing is ever private in a Greek city. And who withholds anything is thought sullen or proud. Undemocratic, I think you call it. But this is not always just. We know that justice, at least on earth, is a name, not a fact. I wish to avoid any appearance of being proud. Of what? Of affliction? I will show you my naked heart. You know that my lord Jason has left me and made a second marriage with the high-born bride of wealth and power. I used to be a child of power, but not in this country. I spent my power for the love of Jason. I put it out to him like water, and he drank it like wine. I gave him success and fame. I saved him his precious life, not once, many times. You may have heard of the things I did for him. I betrayed my father for him. I killed my brother to save him. I made my own land hate me forever. And I fled west with him on that Greek ship through the thunder of the sails, wailing and laughing. That huge journey through the Black Sea and the Bosphorus where the rocks cling together. The Sea of Marmora, through Hellespont, and back home to Greek waters. His home. My exile. My endless exile. And here, I have borne him sons, and this man has left me and has taken Creon's daughter to enjoy her fortunes, to put aside her soft yellow hair, and to kiss her young mouth.
She is terrible, stone with stone eyes.
Look, the foam flake that flickers with her breathing.
She is pitiable. She's under great injuries.
I don't know what other women. I don't know how much a Greek woman will endure. The people of my race are somewhat rash and intemperate. And as for me, I wish simply to die. But Jason is not to smile to his bride over my grave, or that great man Creon hang wreaths and make a feast day. Let the wreaths be a bright, blinding fire, and the songs, the high wailing, and the wine, blood.
Oh, daughter of sorrow, beware. It is dangerous to dream of wine. It is worse to speak of wailing or blood, for the images that the mind makes find a way out. They work into life.
Let them work into life.
There are some evils that cannot be cured by evil. Patience remains, and the gods watch all.
Let them watch my enemies go down in blood.
Medea, beware. Some great person is coming. It is Creon himself.
Creon is coming.
He is dark with anger. Oh, my child, bend in this wind and not be broken.
You have admirers, I see. Abate your pride. These people will not be with you where you are going. Medea, woman of the stone forehead and hate-filled eyes, I've made my decision. I've decided for you to leave this land at once and go into banishment with your children. I intend to remove a disturbance in the soil of Corinth. I'm here to see to it. I will not return home until it is done.
You mean banishment?
Exile, banishment, go where you may, Medea. But here you bide no more.
I with my children?
I will not take them away from you.
My sons are still very young, tender and helpless. You know, my lord, what exile means. To wander with fear and famine for a guide and a driver through all the wild winter storms. To beg a bread crust, to be derided, pelted with stones in the villages, not a little lower than the scavenger dog, kicked, scorned, slaved. The children, my lord, are Jason's children, your chosen friend, and I believe even closer bound. As for me, your servant, O master of Corinth, what have I done? Why must I be cast?
I will tell you frankly. Because you nourish rancor's ill will towards persons whom I intend to protect, I send you out before you have time to do harm here. And you are notorious for using occult knowledge, sorcery, poison, magic. Men say you could even sing down the moon from heaven and make the holy stars falter, running backward against the purpose and current of nature. As for that, I know not. I know you're dangerous. You threaten my daughter. You have to go.
But I wish her well, my lord. I wish her all happiness. I hope that Jason is as kind to her as to me.
That is your wish?
I misspoke. I thought of old days.
I acknowledge, Medea, that you have some cause for grief. I all the more must guard against your dark wisdom and bitter heart.
It's true that I have some knowledge of drugs and medicines, and that I can cure some sickness. Is that a crime? These dark rumors, my lord, are only the noise of popular gratitude. You must have observed it often. If any person knows a little more than the common man, they suspect him. If he brings new talents, how promptly the hateful whispers begin. But you are not a common man, Lord of Corinth. You will not fear knowledge.
No. Nor change my decision. I'm here to see you leave this house and the city, and not much time. Move quickly. Gather your things and go. I pity you, Medea, but you must go.
You pity me? You pity me? I will not endure a dog's pity or wart-grown toads. Gods who hear me! We shall see in the end who is to be pitied.
Yes, and I'll keep her safe of your female hatred. Therefore, I send you out of this land.
It's not true. I'm not jealous. I never hated her. Jealous for the sake of Jason. I am far past wanting Jason, my lord. You took him, and you gave him to her. And I will say you did well, perhaps wisely. Your daughter is loved by all. She is beautiful. If I were near her, I would soon love her.
You could speak sweetly enough. You could make honey in your mouth like a brown bee. When it serves your turn.
Not honey, the truth.
Trust you or not, you're going out of this land, Medea. What I decide is fixed. Make way quickly. I have a guest in my house. I should return to him.
What guest? Oh, my lady, ask him who is the guest. If powerful and friendly, he might be a refuge for us.
I know that your will is granted. But even on the harsh face of a granite mountain, flowers of mercy may grow into season. Have mercy on my sons, Creon. Though there's none for me.
How long, woman? This is decided. Done. Finished.
I'm not a beggar. I will not trouble you. I shall not even live long. Oh, sire, grant me a few hours, one day to prepare in one little day before I go out of Corinth forever.
What? No! I told you. The day is today, Medea. This day. And the hour is now.
Is there no flowers on this mountain? Not one violet, not one pompey. Your face, my lord, is like a flint. If I could find the right words, if some god would give me a touch of eloquence, I'd show you my heart. I'd lift it out of my breast and turn it over in my hands, and you would see how pure it is of any harm or malice towards you and your household. Look at it, not a speck, my lord. Look at it. They say mercy is the jewel of kings, and I am praying to you as one of the gods. Destroy us not utterly. To go without refuge, nothing prepared, is plain death. I'd rather kill myself quickly and here. But if I had time to ask the slaves or the strolling beggars where to go, how to live, I can gather one or two means and trade them for breads and goat's milk. Wretched, wretched I and my boys. I beseech you, Creon, but the soft yellow hair, the smooth forehead, and the white knees of that girl who is now Jason's bride, lend me this inch of time. One day, half a day, for this one is half gone, and I will go my sad course, and vanish in the morning like dew that drops at dawn and is dry by sunset. And this I pray you, for your dear child's sake. O Creon, what is half a day, and all the rich years of Corinth?
I will think of it. I am no tyrant. I've been merciful to my own hurt many times. Even to myself I seem to be foolish. If I grant you this thing... No, Medea, I will not grant it. Well, we shall watch you, as a hawk does a viper. What harm can she do in the tale of one day? A ruler ought to be ruthless, but I'm not. I'm a fool. In my own eyes, whatever the world may think, I could be gruff of 4 years, but a woman weeping floods me off course. Take it then. Make your preparations. But if tomorrow's sun shines on you here, Medea, you die. Enough words. Thank me not. I want my hands washed of this business.
I will thank you, and the whole world will hear of it. I
I have seen this man's arrogance. I have heard and watched him. I am a woman of Corinth, and I say that Corinth is not well ruled.
The city where even a woman, even a foreigner, suffers unjustly the rods of power is not well ruled.
Oh, unhappy Medea! What haven, what sanctuary? Where will you wander? Which of the gods, Medea, drives you through waves of woe?
This man, this barking dog, this galled fool, gods of my father's country. You saw me low on my knees, humble, holding my heart in my hands for a dog to bite, break this dog's teeth. Women, it's a bitter thing to be a woman. A woman is too weak for warfare. She must use cunning. Men boast their battles. I tell you this, and we know it. It is easier to stand in battle 3 times in the stabbing fury than to bear one child. It may be so. And they say that women can do no good but in childbirth. But she can do evil. Death is dearer to me than what I am now. And if by today the world has not turned sharp too, let your dog Creon send 2 or 3 soldiers to kill me, and a cord to strangle me. I will stretch out my throat to it. But I have a bitter hope, women. I begin to see light through the dark woods, through the monstrous trunks of the trees. A pinpoint of light. I shall not die, perhaps like an innocent lamb that feels a hand on its head and looks up from the knife to the man's face. No, like some yellow-eyed beast that has just killed its hunter. Let me lie down on the hounds' bodies and the broken spears. But how to strike them? What means to use? There are so many doors which painful death can glide in and catch. Which one? Which one?
Tell me, do you know what guest is in Creon's house?
What? Oh, an Athenian ship came from the harbor last night. It is Aegeus, lord of Athens.
Aegeus. My lady knows him. I believe he will help us. Some god has brought him here, some savior god.
I think he is leaving today.
My lady, Lord Aegeus is here in Corinth. If you will see him and speak him fairly, we have a refuge.
I have things in my hands to do.
You are driven out of Corinth. You must find shelter. Aegeus of Athens is here.
What's that to me?
I lifted you in my arms when you were this long. I saw the little beautiful body straighten and grow tall. Child, almost my child, how can I not try to save you? Life is better than death.
Not now.
Time's running out.
I have time. Oh, I have time. It would be far better to stand here for 1,000 years and think of nothing but the deaths of 3 persons.
There's no hope then. Child, if you do this red thing you dream of, all Corinth would pour against you.
After my enemies are punished and I've heard the last broken moan. Corinth? What's that? I'll sleep, and I'll sleep well. I'm alone against all, and so weary that it is pitiful.
Look, someone is coming. I see sunlight glitter off the lance heads.
What is Jason?
Jason's Medea's worst enemy, who should have been her dearest protector.
What business have you here, you women, clustered like buzzing bees at the hive door? Where is Medea?
There, mourning for what you have done.
What she has done, not I. Not by my will she and my sons are exiled.
Is there another dog here?
So, Medea, you have once more affronted and insulted the head of Corinth. This is not the first time I've seen what a fool anger is. You might have lived here, happily, secure, and honored. I hoped that you would, by being just a little decently respectful towards those in power. Instead, you had to go mad with anger and talk yourself into exile. To me, it matters little what you say about me, but rulers are sensitive. Time and again, I have soothed down Creon's indignation. Then you, like a madwoman, like a possessed imbecile, wagged your head and let the words flow again. You never cease from speaking evil against him and his family. So now, call yourself lucky, Medea, not to get worse than exile. In spite of this, I have your interest at heart. I'm here to help you. Exile's a bitter business, and I wish to make some provision for you. I wish you no harm, although you may hate me. And in particular, the children, my sons, our sons. You might have been decent enough to have thought of our sons.
Did you consider them when you betrayed this house?
Of course, I considered them. It was my hope that they would grow up here, and I, having married power, could protect and favor them. And if perhaps after many years I become Dynast of Corinth, for that is Creon's desire, to make me his heir, our sons would have been king's sons. I hope to help them wherever they go, but now, of course, I must look forward to younger children.
It's enough. Something might happen. It is likely that something might happen to the bride and the marriage.
I will guard against it. But evidently Creon is right to be rid of you.
Have you finished? I thought I would let you spread out your shamelessness before these women, like a Tyrrhenian trader unrolls his rare fabrics. Do you like it, ladies? It is a brave person. It has finally got up the courage with a guard of spears to come look me in the face. Oh, Jason, how you pulled me down to this hell of vile thoughts. I used to talk like a common woman. I loved you once, and I'm ashamed of it. There are some things that ought to be remembered by you and me. That blue day when we drove through Hellespont into the Greek Sea. That day was too fine, I suppose, for Creon's daughter's man to remember. But you might have remembered that I cheated my father for you and tamed the fire-breathing brazen-hoofed bulls and saved your life in the field of the teeth. And that I poisoned that great serpent and got you the golden fleece. And that I killed my brother when he tried to pursue us, making myself abominable in my own home. And in yours, I got your enemy Bullis hacked to death by his own daughter's hands. Whatever your fine Corinthian friends may say about my rapid and tricky wisdom, you it has served, and you it has served well. Here 5 times that I've counted, and all's not counted, but your adventures would have been dusty death if I had not saved you. But now, you think you're safe and high placed in Corinth and will need me no more. It's a bit of a dog, isn't it, women? It's well qualified to sleep with a dog's daughter. But for me, Jason, what does your prudent kindness advise? Should I fly home to Colchis to put my neck in the coil of that knotted rope for the crimes I've served with you? Or should I kneel before Polias' daughter? Gladly they'd be happy to have my head and to kill me with the same knives and cleavers that did their sire. The world's a little close to me, eh? By the things I've done for you.
I'll go to the palace and seek Aegeus. There is no other hope.
I see, Medea. You have been a very careful merchant of benefits. You forget none. You keep a strict reckoning. But there are some little things that I, on my side, have done for you that ought to be in the books too. As, for example, that I carried you out of the dirt and superstition of Asiatic Colchis into the rational sunlight of Greece and the marble music of the Greek temples. Is that no benefit? And I have brought you to meet the first minds of our time and to speak as an equal with the great heroes and the rulers of cities. Is that no benefit? And now, this grievous thing that you hate me for, that I have married Creon's young daughter Glauca. Do you think that I did it as a boy or as a woman, out of blind passion? No, I did it to achieve power here. And I have used that power to protect you and our sons. But your jealous madness has muddled everything. And finally, as to those acts of service you so loudly boast, whom do I thank for them? I thank divine Aphrodite, the goddess who makes girls fall in love. You did them because you had to do them. Venus compelled you. I enjoyed her favor. A man dares things, you know. He makes his adventure in the cold eye of death. And if the gods favor him, they appoint an instrument to save him. If not, he dies. You were that instrument.
Here it is. The lowest, the obscene dredges, the slime and the loathing when a scoundrel begins to invoke the gods.
Foolish woman.
Be careful, Jason. Vulgarity is a contagious disease. In a moment what I could do but spit at you like a peasant or curse you like a drunken slave. You better take yourself back to little Glauca.
I came to help you and save you if possible.
Your help is not wanted. Go! Go.
If I could see my sons...
Go quickly!
Yours the regret, then.
This is it. I did not surely know it. Loathing is all. This flesh that he has touched and fouled. These hands that wrought for him, these knees that ran his errands. This body that took what they called love and made children of it. I could tear off the flesh, the children, the memory. Poor, misused hands. Poor defiled arms. Your bones are not unshapely. If I could tear off the flesh, it'd be naked bones. Salt-scorned bones. At home in Colchis.
God, keep me from the fire and the hunger of the sword. Save me from the hateful sea, the jagged lightning, and the violence of love.
A little love is a joy in this house. A little fire is a jewel against frost and darkness.
A great love is a fire that burns the beams of the roof. The doorposts are flaming and the house falls. A great love is a lion in a cattle's pen. The herd goes mad, the heifers run bawling, and the claws are in their flanks. Too much love is an armed robber in the treasury. He has slain the guards and he walks in blood.
And now I see the black end, and God save me from it. The unburied horrors, the unbridled hatred, the vultures tearing a corpse. God, keep me clean of those evil beaks.
What is she doing? That woman, staring like stone, staring.
Annihilation. The word is pure music. Annihilation. To annihilate the past is not possible, but it is fruit in the present, and it can be nipped off. Am I to look into my son's eyes and see Jason's forever? How can I endure the endless defilement those lies that makes Jason and me? It would be far better to be naked bones. Bones have no eyes. How could they weep? White bones, the black seashore. Oh, but that's far. Corinth must howl first.
Hatred is here. Hatred is heavy. Love blows away. Hatred remains.
Women hate war, but men will wage it again. Women may hate their husbands and sons their fathers, but women will never hate their own children.
But as for me, I will do good by my husband. I will love my sons and daughters and adore the gods.
What if I were to go into the house with a sharp knife to the man and his bride? Or should I set fire to the room they sleep in and hear them wake in the white of the fires, crying like dogs, howl and die? But what if I fail? What if I'm cut down first? What if the knife turns in my hands or the fire not burn? My enemies could laugh at me. No. I have subtler means, and more deadly cruel. Not for nothing, I've worshipped the gray goddess that walks in the dark. The wise one, the terrible one, the sweet huntress, the queen of the night, Hecate! In my house, in my heart.
He was leaving Creon's door. He's coming. Aegeus is coming. The power of Athens.
Ancient goddess, to whom I and my people make sacrifices of black lambs and black female hounds. Holy one, hunter of crossroads, queen of the night, Hecate, help me to remember the use of the venomous fire, the magic songs, and the sharp gems.
He is here. Athens is here.
Rejoice, Medea. There is no fairer greeting from friend to friend. Medea, hail and rejoice.
Rejoice. It may be so. It may be that I shall rejoice before the sun sets.
Medea, what has happened to you? Your eyes are cavernous, and your mouth twitches.
Nothing. I'm quite well. Fools trouble me. Where are you traveling from, Aegeus?
From Delphi, where I went to consult the ancient oracle of Apollo.
Oh, Delphi. Did you get a good answer?
An obscure one. Some god or other has made me unable to beget a child. That is my sorrow. But the gods never give plain responses. I came to you because you are skilled in mysteries, and you might help me decipher this one.
You want a child? What did Apollo say to you?
That I must not unloose the hanging foot of the wineskin until I return to the hearth of my fathers.
You have never had a child.
No. And it is bitterness.
But when misfortune comes, it is bitter to have a child, and to watch their star-like faces grow dim to endure it.
Medea, for a childless man, death is utter despair, darkness, extinction. One's child is the life after death.
Do you feel it so? Then if you had a dog-eyed enemy, that needed absolute vengeance, you'd kill his children first. Unchild him, huh? And then unlife him.
I do not care to think of such horrors. I have no enemies. Medea, what is happening? You are trembling. There's wild fever flames in your eyes.
Nothing. I'm quite well. Fools trouble me. And dogs. But not that.
Medea, what has happened?
My dear, my love.
I don't hurt my children. Their father hurts them.
Who are you talking of? Jason? What has Jason done?
Jason has betrayed and denied both me and them.
Jason has done this? Why? Why?
He has left me and has taken Creon's daughter. And Creon, this very day, is sending us into black exile.
And Jason consents to this?
He is glad of it.
Why, it's absurd. It's past belief.
Ask him for refuge. Ask him to receive you in Athens.
Do you not think such men ought to be punished, Aegeus?
I think it's villainous. They told me nothing of this.
Do you not think such men ought to be punished, Aegeus?
Where will you go, Medea?
If there's any righteousness on earth or in heaven, they will be punished.
Where will you go, Medea?
To death, of course.
Oh, she is all bewildered, sir, in the deep storm and ocean of grief, or she would ask of you refuge in Athens.
Ah, so I should. Will you shelter me in Athens, Aegeus?
Why, yes. I will not take you now from Corinth. It would not be right. I am Creon's guest here. I want no quarrel with him. If you, by your own means, come to Athens, I will protect you.
I could repay you for it. I know the remedies to make a dry stick flame into fire and fruit.
You'd cure my sterility?
I could do so.
You're famous for your profound knowledge of drugs and charms. You'll come to Athens?
If I choose. If the gods decided so. But if I go, Aegeus, will you protect me? I have certain enemies, and if powerful enemies came baying for my blood, would you protect me?
Why, yes. What enemies? Yes, Athens protects.
I need peace and a free mind to prepare the medicines to make you well.
You'll have it. You'll have it, Medea. You know the old sacred war belt of Athens. Come the four ends of the earth, no one will bother you. I am your pledge.
Will you swear it, Aegeus?
Why? I promised.
I trust you. The oath is formal. Your cure depends on it. You swear by the fruitful earth and the high shining heaven that you'll protect me against all men. Swear it.
I swear, by the fruitful earth and the high shining heaven, I will protect you against all men.
And if you should break it,
I will not break it.
and if you should break it, the earth will give you no bread but death, and the sky no light but darkness.
I will not break it.
You must repeat the words, Aegeus.
If I break the oath, the earth will give me no bread but death, and the sky no light but darkness.
You have sworn, and the gods have heard you.
Where will you go, Medea?
To Athens, if I come, if I live, it will be soon. I have some things to do that men will talk of afterwards with hushed voices, while I and my children are safe in Athens' laugh. Farewell, Aegeus.
Farewell. Farewell, Medea. May the gods be ever in your favor. Farewell to you also, women of Corinth.
Fair be the gale behind you, sir, and the way ahead.
What is she plotting deep in her mind?
She is juggling with life and death.
No, she's like some distracted city, sharpening its weapons. Embassies visit her. The heads of state come to her door. She receives them darkly.
I beseech you, women, not to speak words against my lady whom I love. You know that wicked injustice she has to suffer. God, protector of exiles, Lord of the holy sky, lead us to the high rock that Athens loves, and the olive garland of Athens.
Athens is as beautiful as a lamp on the rocks. The temples are marble shafted, and light shines and lingers there. Honey color on the carved stones, and silver color on the leaves of olives. The maidens are crowned with violets. Athens and Corinth are the two beauties of time.
Mycenae for spears and armor, Sparta for the stern men and the tall blonde women, and Thebes I remember, old Thebes for the 7 gates and the gray walls. But rather I praise Athena, the ivory, the golden, the gray-eyed virgin, her city. But also I praise Corinth for those beautiful fountains in between 2 gulfs.
God-favored cities, fortunate those who dwell in them, happy that behold them.
How can one wish to die? How can she be so drowned in sorrow and bewildered with hatred? For only to be alive and see the light is beautiful. For only to be alive, to see a blade of young grass or a gray face of a stone.
Hush. As you say, what a marvelous privilege it is merely to be alive. And how foolish it would be to spend the last day that remains to me, at least in Corinth, this tag end one day, on tears and hatred. Rather, I should rejoice and sing and offer gifts, and as to my enemies, be reconciled with them.
Reconciled with them?
As you say, reconciled with them. Why should those people hate me? Surely I can appease those people. They say that gold can buy anything, even friendship, even love, at least in Greece. In fact, they've seen it happen. They bought Jason, and Jason's love. I shall buy theirs. I have 2 or 3 treasures, things of pure precious gold, that the gods gave to my kings of my ancestors. Is it late? It seems to me that the light has darkened. Is it evening?
No, a cloud.
I hope for thunder. Let the sky rage. But my gifts will shine the brighter. Listen, old woman. I want you to go to Jason and tell him that I'm sick of hatred and weary of evil. I wish for peace. I wish to send gifts to the pale girl with the yellow hair whom he has married, and tell him to kiss his boys before we go into exile. Tell him to come speedily. Run! Run! Find him!
I'll go. I'll run. But I am terrified. Pray to the gods, women, to keep evil birds from our hearts.
Run! Run! Find him! These are the gifts I'm giving to the young bride. This golden wreath. This woven golden veil. They are not without value. There's nothing like it in the whole world. Well, at least in the Western world. And the God of the sun gave these to my father's father. And I've kept it in a deep chest for some high occasion, which has now come. I have great joy in giving these gifts to Creon's daughter, for the glory of a life is being generous to one's friends and merciless to one's enemies. And you know what a friend she has been to me. All of Corinth knows. The servants talk of it, and the old stones in the wall have watched and laughed. See, it's almost alive. Gold is a living thing, such precious gold. And when her body has warmed it, how it will shine. Why doesn't he come? What keeps him?
Oh, my lady, presently. I've but just returned from him. He was beyond the gates, watching the races where a monstrous thing happened. A young mare broke from the chariot and tore with her teeth a stallion.
He takes his time, eh? It's intolerable to wait. Take these into the house and keep them at hand for when I call. You said that a mare attacked a stallion.
She tore him cruelly. I saw him being led away, a black racer.
You're sure he's coming? You're sure?
He said he would.
Let him make haste, then.
Frightening, irrational things have happened lately. The face of nature is flawed with omens.
Yesterday evening, a servant came up to the harbor gate carrying a basket of newly caught fish. One of the fish took fire and burned in the wet basket with a high flame. It was witnessed by many persons.
And there was a black leopard seen gliding through the marketplace.
You haven't told me yet. Do you not think Creon's daughter will be glad of such gifts?
Oh, Medea, too much wealth is sometimes dreadful.
Oh, but she'll be glad, however. She'll take them. She'll put them on. She'll wear them. She'll strut in them. She'll peacock in them. I see him coming. The whole palace will admire her. Stand away, women, while I make my sick peace.
Well, Medea, I have come. I tell you plainly, not for your sake, for the children. Your woman says that you have your wits again and are willing to look beyond your own woes. It appears doubtful. Where are the children? I have made inquiry. I can find fosterage for them in Epidaurus or any other of several cities that are Creon's friends. I'll visit them from time to time and watch that they are well kept.
You mean take them from me? Forgive me, Jason, I am not patient yet. I am the one who labored in pain to bear them. I cannot smile while I lose them. But I am learning. I am learning. No, Jason, I will not give up my little ones to the cold care of strangers. Hard faces, harsh hands. It would be far better for them to share my wandering ocean of beggary and bleak exile. I love them. If only you would take them and care for them here in Corinth, I might consent.
Gladly I would do this, but they are exiled.
In your own house.
Gladly I would do these things, but you understand they are exiled, as you are. I asked Creon, and he refused it.
You ask Creon to take my children from me. Forgive me, Jason, as I do you. We've had too much raft, and our acts are closing in on us. On me, I mean. Retribution is from the gods, and it breaks their hearts. But you feel no guilt. You fear nothing. Nothing can touch you. It must be wonderful to stand serene above all while earthlings wince. If it lasts. It doesn't always last. Do you love the children, Jason?
Certainly. The children. Certainly, I am their father.
Oh, but that's not enough. Forgive me. But if something were to happen to them, would you be grieved?
Nothing will happen to them, Medea, if in my care. Rest your mind on it.
Oh, but it's not possible to be certain of that. If they were killed, and their blood ran down the floors of the house or down the deep earth, would you be grieved?
You have a sick mind. What a weak thing a woman is, always dreaming of evil.
Answer me.
Yes, after I'd cut their killer into red collops, I would grieve.
That is true. Vengeance makes grief bearable. But Creon's daughter, your wife, no doubt will breed many other boys. But if something were to happen to Creon's daughter...
Enough, Medea! Too much! Be silent.
I am to conclude that you love Creon's daughter more than your sons. To the boys to come out and bid their father farewell.
I could take them from you by force, Medea.
Try it. No. Creon decided otherwise. He said they will share my exile. Come, Jason, let's be friends at last. I'm patient now. I have learned. Come, boys, come. Speak to your father. No, no. We're friends again. We're not angry anymore.
Big boys, tall fellows, huh? You've grown up since I saw you last.
Smile for him, children.
I think he's afraid of you, sir.
What? What? You'll learn, my man, not to fear me. You'll make your enemies run away from you when you grow up. And you, Captain, how would you like a horn-tipped bow to hunt rabbits with? Wolves, I mean.
Do not give them to him, Medea. If you do, it will ache forever.
You have refuge. Take them there. Athens is beautiful.
Be silent. Look at them. He loves them all. Therefore, his dear children are not going to that great city, but a darker city, where no games are played or music is heard. This man is going to weep. I think he's going to weep blood, and much more than I have ever wept. Watch and keep silent.
God's hand, Medea. What is it? What's wrong?
is hard to let them go. But I think I'm satisfied to know that you love these two young heroes. This I have thought of. You will take them to Creon's daughter, your wife, and make them kneel before her, and ask her to ask her father if they can stay here in Corinth. He'll grant it. He's getting old. He denies her nothing. Even that hard king loves his only child, and whatever she asks is done. You'll go with the boys, Jason, and speak for them, for they are not skillful yet. In supplication, I'll send gifts. They say that gifts will persuade even the gods. Is this well thought of? Will they listen to us?
Why, if I ask it, she can hardly deny me anything. And I believe you are right. She can rule Creon.
Bring me those gold things. Dear ones, brave little falcons, little pawns of my agony, go ask that proud girl for bitter charity. She'll let you nest here until your wings fledge, while your mother flies the dark storm.
I'm sorry for you, Medea. Parting is hard.
I can bear it, and worse too. Here are the things. Here, little ones, hold them carefully in your hands. Hold them by the cases. Do not touch the gold, or it might tarnish.
Why, Medea, it's too much. These are king's treasures. Creon's house has gold enough on its own.
Oh, she should wear them. What should I want with such woven gold vanities? Black is my wear. She ought to be glad with such gifts and such a husband. Her sun is rising and mine is going down. I hope to a red sunset. The little golden reef is pretty, isn't it?
It looks like fire.
Vine leaves, the arrow flashing leaves. They have a weight, though. Gold is too heavy a burden for little hands. You there, carry them until they come to the palace. Farewell, sweet boys, brave little trudgelings. Be sure to lay the gifts into her hands. Come back and tell me what happens. Rejoice, women! The gifts are given, the bait is laid. The gods roll their great eyes over Creon's house and quietly smile. That robe of bright flowing gold, that bride veil, that fishnet to catch a young slender salmon, not mute. She'll sing. Her delicate body writhes in the meshes, that gold wreath that binds bright to her head. If I were there to hear that proud one howling. Look, the sun's out again. All is gay and clear. I wish the deep earth would open and swallow us before I do what comes next. I wish all life would perish. The gods in high heaven die before my little ones come home to my hands.
It would be better for you, Medea, if the earth opened its jaws and took you down into darkness. But one thing you will not do, for you will not hurt your own children. Though wrath like a plague boils your mind in a fire haze.
How could that girl's death satisfy me?
I'm sick with terror. I'll run to the palace. I'll warn them.
Will you? Go. Go if you will. God and my vengeful goddess are doing these things. You cannot prevent them, but you can easily fall into the same fire.
I'm afraid to go.
You are wise. Anyone standing between me and my justice will reap what no man wants.
Not justice, vengeance. You have suffered evils, you wish to inflict evils.
I do according to nature what I have to do.
I have heard evil answering evil, as thunder answers the lightning. A great waste of voice in a dark hollow sky, and all that they say is death. I have heard vengeance like an echo under the hill, answering vengeance. Great hollow voices, and all that they say is death.
The sword speaks and the spear answers. The city is desolate. The nation remembers old wrongs and no man binds up their wounds.
But justice builds a firm house.
The doors of her house are vengeance.
I dreamed someone gave good for evil, and the world was amazed.
Only a coward or a madman gives good for evil. Do you hear a thin music? Like a girl screaming? Or did I perhaps imagine it? Hark! It is music.
Let me go, Medea. I'll be mute. I'll speak to no one. I cannot bear. Let me go to my
No!
house.
You will stay here. You'll be quiet, you women. You came to watch and see how the barbarian woman endures betrayal. Watch, and you'll know.
My heart is a shaken cup of terror. The thin black wine spills from my flesh to my feet.
She fled from her father's house in a storm of blood. In a blood storm she flew from Thessaly. Now here in dark over Corinth, she widens her wings to ride up the twisted whirlwind.
Let me flee this dark place and pillared doorway.
I see the man wolf on the snow hill howling at the soaring moon.
The demon comes in through the locked door and strangles the child.
Blood is the seed of blood, 100-fold the harvest. The gleaners that follow it, their blood is crimson.
I see the whirlwind hanging from the black sky like a twisted rope. It is braided of dust and lightning.
Let me hide myself from these night-shoring terrors in the pillared door.
Have patience, you women. Certainly something has happened. Presently someone will bring us news.
Look, the children are coming.
They have bright things in their hands. Their faces are clear and joyous. Was all that fear a dream? A dream?
Rejoice, Medea, I bring good news. The princess graciously received your offer and smiled. It is peace between you. The boys are safe from exile. They'll be kept here. Their father is joyful.
Yes.
When we first entered, all of Creon's house was pleased. A serving woman came and greeted the children. It was rumored throughout all the household that you and Jason were at peace again, like word of a victory running through a wide city where people gathered to rejoice. And then we entered the halls, we put those costly gifts in their hands, and then Jason led us to the princess. At first, she was angry and looked away, but then Jason said, "Don't be angry, you ought to love those whom I love. Look what they've brought you, dear." And she looked and saw in the dark boxes the brilliant gold. She smiled then and marveled at it. Afterwards, she caressed the children. She even said that this little one's hair was like fine spun gold. Afterwards, Jason gave them these toys, and away we came.
If this were all, old man, I'd have your bony loins beat into a blood froth for the good news you bring.
My lady,
There's more, however. It will come soon.
Look, Mother. Look at the gifts we received.
Take them away from me. I cannot bear. I cannot bear.
let's go, children.
If there is any mercy or forbearance in heaven, let it reach down and touch that dark mind before what it dreams
What has happened? What horror drives you? Are spears hunting behind you?
Flee for your life. Medea! I am Jason's man. You were good to me here while I was in your home. Can you hear me? Escape, Medea!
I hear you. Draw breath and speak slowly. It must have been something notable the way your eyes bulge in the whites.
If you have horses, Medea drive, or a boat on the shore sail.
But first you must tell me of that beautiful girl who was lately married, your great man's daughter. Are they quite well?
My ears ring with the crying. My eyes are scalded. She put on the gold garments and then... Did you do it, Medea?
I did it.
You're avenged. You're horribly avenged. It is too much. The gods will hate you.
That is my care. Did anyone die with her?
Creon.
Where's pride now? Tell me all that you saw.
He tried to save her. He died. Corinth is masterless. All in amazing confusion. And some are looting. But they'll avenge him. I'm going on. Someone is going to die.
Here comes a more stable witness. Old friend, catch your breath. Take your time. I want the whole tale, every gesture and cry. I have labored for this.
I've hobbled and run and fallen.
Please, nurse, go slowly. I am very happy. Tell me these things in order, as when you used to address me in my father's house. You used to say one thing at a time. One thing, and then the next.
My eyes are blistered. My throat's like a dry straw. There was a long mirror on the wall, and when her eyes saw it, after the children had gone with Jason, she put her hands in the case and took those gold things. And I watched, for I feared something might happen to her. But I never thought so horribly. She placed on her little head the bright golden wreath. She gathered the flowing gold robe around her white shoulders and slender flanks, and gazed at the girl in the metal mirror going back and forth on tiptoe almost. But suddenly, horror began.
You are not suffering. You saw it. You did not feel it. Speak plainly.
Her face went white. She staggered a few steps, bending over, and fell near the great throne chair. Then a servant began to call for water, thinking she had fainted, but saw the foam start on her lips, the eyes rolling, and screamed instead. Then some of them ran after Jason. The others ran to fetch Creon and that doomed girl, frightfully crying. She was like a torch. The golden crown, like a comet, streamed fire. She tore at it, but it clung to her head. The golden cloak was white hot, flaying the flesh from the living bones. Blood mixed with fire ran down. She fell. She burned, writhing. Then Creon came in and flung himself on her, hoping to choke that rage of flame. But it ran through him. His own agony made him forget his daughters. The fire stuck to the flesh. It glued him to her. He tried to stand up, but he tore her body and his own. The burnt flesh broke in lumps from the bone. I have finished. They lie there, eyeless, disfaced, untouchable. Middens of smoking flesh. No, I have no more.
I want all. They died when you came away.
I am not able. Have mercy. No. The breath still whistled in their black mouths. Jason stood in their smoke, and its hands tore his unhelmeted hair.
You have told good news well. I reward you. As for those people, they will soon die. Their woes are over too soon. Mine are not, Jason's are not. Little falcons, listen to me. Laugh and be glad. We've accomplished it. Our enemies were great and powerful. They are full of cold pride. They ruled over this country, and now they're down in the ashes, crying like dogs, cowering in the ashes, and their own ashes. They went down with the sun, and the sun will rise and not see them again. You will think, perhaps they're sleeping. They feasted late. At noon they'll walk in the garden. No, they will not walk in the garden. No one has ever injured me and suffered more than I have suffered. Therefore, this final sacrifice stares me in the eyes like a lion on a ridge. We still hate, you know. Lives nearer than these, more vile, more contemptible. If he were my own hands, I would cut him off, or my eyes, I would gouge him out. But not you. That was madness. So Jason will be able to say, I have not lost much. I have my children, my sons are well. No, I want him crushed, boneless, crawling. I have no choice. You there, you thought me soft and submissive like a common woman who takes a blow and cries a little and wipes her face going about her housework loving her master. I am not such a woman.
Awake, Medea! Awake from that evil dream! Catch up your children and flee! Farther than Athens, farther than Thrace or Spain, flee to the world's end. Fire and death have done your bidding.
No. Loathing is endless. Hate is a bottomless cup, and I will pour and pour. Little ones, my children, what was I dreaming? Never, never shall my own babes hurt. Not if every warhound and spear slave and headless Corinth were on the track. Look, their sweet lips are trembling. Look, women, I scared them with those wild words. they stood there and faced me, and never flinched. Look at their proud young eyes. My eaglets, my golden ones, oh sweet small faces.
My lady, make haste, haste. Take them and flee. Flee away from here. Someone will come soon. Listen to me. Spears will come, death will come. All Corinth is in confusion and headless anarchy. Unkinged and amazed around that horror you made. Therefore they linger, yet in a moment its avengers come.
I have a sword in the house. I can defend you. Would you say that this child has Jason's eyes? They are his cubs. They have his blood. As long as they live, I'll be forever mixed with him. Children, it is evening. Look, evening has come. Come, come, boys, into the house. Evening brings all things home. The bird to the bough, the lamb to the fold, and the children to its mother. We must not think too much. People go mad when they think too much.
There is no hope in heaven or earth. It is done. It was destined when she was born. And now it is done.
Where is that murderess? Here in the house? Or has she fled? She'll have to hide in the heavy metal darkness in caves of the earth, and there I will crawl and find her. Where does she hide? Are you shielding her? Where is Medea? I came to find my sons, to save them from Creon's men. They would kill them for what she has done. Help me in this. So she has killed herself. Good. She never lacked any courage. Does she lie in there, honorable at least in her death? Well, answer!
Death is here. Death is there, but you are both blind in death.
But my sons are well.
I do not know whether Medea lives or is dead.
Open! Open! Women, help me! Help me to break this bolt! Go and find help! Open!
Feeble night bird overcome by misfortune knocks at my door. Can it be the great adventurer, the lord of the seas and delight of women, the heir of rich Corinth? This crying drunkard on a dark doorstep. Yet you've not had enough. You've come to drink the last bitter drops. I'll pour them for you.
What is that stain on your hands?
The wine I was pouring for you spilled on my hands. Dear were the little grapes that were crushed to make it. Dear were the vineyards.
I came to kill you, Medea. Like a caught beast, like a crawling viper. Give me my sons, and I'll go quietly away.
Hush. They're sleeping. Perhaps I'll let you look at them, but you cannot have them. But the hour is late. You ought to go home to that high-born bride. Surely she longs for you. Surely her flesh is not crusted black, nor her forehead burned bald, nor her mouth a horror. She's young. Surely she'll be fruitful.
I will kill you first, Medea, and then find my sons.
Be careful, Jason. Do you see these two fire snakes that guard this door? Here and here, one on each side, two serpents. Their throats are swollen with poison. Their eyes are burning coals, and their tongue is fire. They're coiled, ready to strike. If you come near them, they'll make you what Creon is. But if you stand there quietly, I'll let you look at your sons. Open the door so he may see them.
I knew it. I knew it before I saw it. No wild animal could have done these things.
I did it because I loathed you more than I loved them.
Do you feel nothing? No pity? Are you pure evil? I should have killed you the day I saw you.
I tore my own heart and laughed. I was tearing yours.
Will you laugh while I strangle you?
I would still laugh. Beware! My door. Oh, there's Jason. These eager serpents. I'd still be joyful to know that every bone of your life is broken, that you're left helpless, friendless, mateless, childless, avoided by gods and by men, unclean, with an awful excess of grief, childless.
What does it matter now who lives and who dies?
You had love and betrayed it. Now out of all men, you are utterly the most miserable, as I of women. But a woman, despised, a foreigner, alone against you and all of Corinth, have met you, throat for throat, evil for evil, vengeance for vengeance.
What does it matter now? Give me my sons, their little pitiful violated bodies, that I might bury them in some kind place.
To you, you would betray even their little bodies, coin them for silver, sell them for power. No!
Let me touch their dear flesh. Let me touch their hair.
No. They're mine. They're going with me. The chariot is at the gate. You better take yourself to your ship Argo and weep beside it. That rotting hulk on the harbor beach, that's your last companion and only hope. For in some time, one of those rotting timbers will fall on your head and kill you. Until then, sit there and mourn and think of the infinite evil and the good that you made evil. Now I go forth under the cold eyes of heaven and the weakness and despising stars. Not me they scorn.
The house of Medea and Jason, once filled with love and laughter, fallen into complete darkness and utter annihilation. We look to find some modicum of solace and understanding of what has happened here. Sadly, there is no respite from the grief which will follow us for the rest of our life.
This place will forever be stained by what happened here. And yet while we mourn the losses, especially those of the children, we are quick to place blame on Jason, and especially Medea. The painful truth is no one on this day holds pure innocence. None here condone the actions of those involved, but all were complicit in their inability to act.
At any point this day, someone could have stopped these events from happening. Whether it was fear, or anger, or pity, every person here could have effected some sort of change that might have spared us these horrors. Instead, we all share this blame, this forever curse due to our inaction.
Learn from our mistakes, children. Where you are afraid, find courage. Where you are angry, find motivation. Revel in the goodness of this earth, and never be afraid to speak up when evil is near. Find peace in all that you do, and do all you can to save those from evil's wake.